A lot of audiophiles will spend tens of thousands of dollars on a pair of flagship floor-standing speakers only to completely compromise their performance by coupling them directly to the floor with standard metal factory spikes. As an engineer, I can tell you that rigid spikes don't actually isolate your speakers. Instead, they act as a highly efficient acoustical bridge, transferring reactive vibration energy straight into your floor and causing massive time domain smearing that collapse your stereo image. If you don't properly decouple your cabinets from the floor using directional isolation technology, your expensive speakers are constantly fighting their own internal reflections, leaving you with muddy bass and two-dimensional soundstage. Today I want to talk about a critical audio upgrade that so many of us overlook: speaker isolation. We are going to do a deep dive into IsoAcoustics and their legendary GAIA series and their brand new GAIA Neo series. A lot of people think that once you buy an expensive pair of speakers, you just plop them down on the factory spikes and you're good to go. But the truth is, if you aren't isolating your speakers from the floor, you really aren't hearing what they are actually capable of. Let's start with the basic physics. When a loudspeaker plays music, it pushes air, but thanks to Newton's third law, it also generates reactive forces that travel backwards into the speaker cabinet itself. If your speaker is sitting on a solid surface, those vibrations migrate down into the floor. This creates a cascade of problems. First, you get rattling and resonance in the room. Second, and more importantly, for audio quality, you get internal reflections. This is when vibrational energy hits the floor and reflects right back up into the speaker cabinet, causing what audio engineers call smear, which collapses your stereo image so it sounds two-dimensional and muddy. For decades, the default solution has been rigid spikes, but science shows that spikes are actually terrible for isolation. Spikes don't remove energy, they just create a highly efficient mechanical path to transfer that energy directly into your floor structure. If you have a suspended wood floor, the floor itself actually becomes a giant resonator, effectively becoming part of your loudspeaker system. On the flip side, some people try to use soft, compliant isolation, like foam pads, rubber blocks, etc. These do not stop vibrations from hitting the floor, but they actually create a brand new problem: time domain smearing. Loudspeaker crossovers are precisely engineered based on the physical distance of the driver from your ear. If your speaker is sitting on a soft surface, the cabinet rocks back and forth dynamically with the music, and it's subtly shifting the acoustic center of the drivers and blurring your transient precision and clarity. This is exactly where IsoAcoustics comes in. The GAIA isolators feature a patented design that solves both of these issues. They are directional. You install them with the logo facing your listening position, which allows them to decouple the speaker from the floor while specifically resisting lateral movement and oscillations. You get vibration absorption without the cabinet rocking. And this brings me to some exciting news: the new GAIA Neo series. IsoAcoustics didn't just replace the original GAIA. The Neo is a premium expansion of the lineup with some massive quality of life and performance upgrades. So what is actually new with the Neo? First, they refined the internal isolators, adjusting their shape, thickness, and durometer to deliver even greater clarity, focus, and low-frequency definition. But for me, the most brilliant upgrade is in the installation process. The original GAIAs required a wrench and lock nuts to adjust the height, which could be tedious. The GAIA Neo features seamless height adjustment. You simply screw them into the bottom of your speaker until the integrated O-ring sits flush. From there, you can adjust the height up to 8.5 millimeters by just rotating the lower ring. You can actually do this while your heavy speaker is already standing on the floor and it doesn't mess up directional alignment of the isolator. Plus, they now include these incredible handy floor sliders. You stick the sliders under the GAIA Neos, effortlessly slide your heavy speaker across your carpet or wood floor into the perfect position, and then just tilt the speaker to pop the sliders out. It makes dialing in your speaker position a total breeze, a huge change from before. Now, a common question I hear is this: what if I have thick carpet? Doesn't the carpet isolate the speaker for me? The answer is no. A heavy speaker will just compress the carpet until it loses its soft padding, leaving you with an unstable surface that still transfers vibrations. To fix this, IsoAcoustics makes a GAIA carpet disc. These are solid stainless steel plates with small spikes on the bottom that pierce through the thick carpet to anchor firmly to the subfloor. You place the GAIA isolators right on top of these discs, giving them the solid contact they need to perform perfectly. If you're skeptical about all of this, let's look into objective performance. YouTuber GAIA Yagi recently did an incredibly tedious but brilliant objective test using a custom vibration station and a contact microphone. He tested the natural resonance vibration of the platform and then measured how much vibration passed through different footers. The results were shocking. Spikes performed horrible, proving worse than just putting a butcher block under the speaker. Meanwhile, IsoAcoustic devices showed massive objective attenuation, sometimes a 10 to 20 decibel reduction in vibration compared to the baseline. To put that in perspective, a 20 dB reduction means the vibrations are practically silenced. Traditional speaker spikes rigidly couple your speakers to the floor. Instead of isolating the sound, spikes effectively transfer vibration energy directly into the floor structure, effectively turning it into a giant unwanted resonator. Spikes also allow vibrations to reflect back up into the speaker cabinets. This returning energy causes a time-delayed distortion called smear, which collapses the stereo image and makes music sound muddy. Objective testing confirms spikes often fail at isolating vibrations, sometimes performing worse than placing the speaker on the cheap wooden butcher block. In contrast, IsoAcoustics GAIA Neo isolators decouple the speaker from the floor. Unlike soft foam or spring pads that allow the cabinet to rock and ruin crossover timing, GAIA Neos are directional and resist lateral movement. This keeps the speaker drivers perfectly aligned with the listening position. Objective laser interferometer and contact microphone tests prove that IsoAcoustic devices significantly reduce both vibration transfer to the floor and reflected vibrations back into the speaker. Acoustically replacing spikes with GAIA Neos yields dramatic sonic improvements. Reviewers consistently note an unpacking of the bass, making it tighter, deeper, and more natural. By eliminating the smear, the mid-range opens up and the stereo image becomes vastly more precise and three-dimensional. Practically, the GAIA Neo series also solves the tedious installation associated with spikes. Ever try leveling a speaker with spikes? Not fun. The GAIA features a rotating lower ring, as I've mentioned, for seamless height adjustment up to 8.5 millimeters while the speaker is standing on the floor slider to make effortless room positioning, and can be paired with specialized carpet discs to maintain a rock-solid foundation on the thick carpets. The absolute sound also reported on laser interferometry studies showing that IsoAcoustic feet substantially reduce the velocity of reflected vibrations, particularly in the bass frequencies. And how does that translate subjectively to your ears? Across the board, reviewers describe the effect as unpacking of the bass. Because you are eliminating that time blur and smear, the bass becomes tighter, deeper, and vastly more natural. It's not just the bass either. The mid-range opens up and the stereo images snap into focus. Reviewer Marino Mitchell put them under 175-pound Tecton Encore speakers and said the massive cabinets just vanished from the room. The GAIA Neo series comes in multiple sizes based on your speaker's weight. There's a Neo 1 for speakers up to 220 pounds, the Neo 2 for up to 120 pounds, and the Neo 3 for up to 70 pounds. If you have absolute monoliths, the GAIA Titan Neo series can support speakers weighing up to 620 pounds. That's a big speaker. They come in gorgeous black or dark chrome finishes that look incredibly high-end. At the end of the day, reviewers agree that this isn't a subtle tweak. It's a fundamental acoustic correction. As one reviewer put it, it literally sounds like you bought a completely new, better speaker. If you've invested heavily in your audio system and you're still using factory spikes, you're leaving a massive amount of performance on the table. The IsoAcoustics GAIA and GAIA Neo series are highly recommended for anyone looking to unlock the true potential of their setup. Many years ago, I had the pleasure of listening to one of the first demonstrations of the IsoAcoustic GAIA isolators on the speakers I personally own, the Focal Sopra 2s. IsoAcoustics had two sets of the speakers set up with a selector switch. The demo blew my mind. They switched back and forth between the two sets of speakers, and the difference was not small. I have been using them ever since. If this deep dive helped you understand the importance of vibration isolation within your audio system, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more no-nonsense engineering advice. If this review made you rethink your own setup, you must watch my full conversation with Sean Morrison at IsoAcoustics. We go into so much more than just speaker isolation, but also products for reducing vibration integration of audio components like turntables. Click the video on your screen and I'll see you there.